So when we do research and when we look at particular issue, we of course need to look at gender issues in order to understand what's happening. And one example you have here, which is by now I think a well-known aspect, is that there's still a lot of gender bias, which is common in people's educational and career choices. Despite all ratio, still a lot of young girls believe hairdresser is a wonderful occupation, and too many choose to become hairdressers. On the other hand, there are too many young boys who believe car mechanic is the most fantastic thing in the world and do become car mechanics regardless if there is a need for car mechanics. Young men are not doing so well in education. There are too many who leave school early. It's not only young men, but young men are more frequently leaving that, showing us something about the way they learn. Young men also don't reach the educational attainment of women. And this also is a very important, it's a very important finding. And as the labor market and the content of many jobs in usually male-dominated areas have changed in content, I believe we will see a lot more women in these professions in future, and it's our task, it's our responsibility, and it's our need from society and from the economy to further this process, because otherwise we will, by 2020, 2025, maybe have a problem on the labor market or in the economy to find enough qualified people to do these jobs. Let me give you an example here, just to make understand, because this is something which sometimes is a little bit puzzling. Because we know that in some sectors we have what's called polarization. Polarization means a need for very high qualified positions, but also an increase in elementary occupations. But it's wrong to believe now that elementary occupations of the future are in general occupations which only require low qualifications. Actually, increasingly in these occupations, elementary occupations, think of laborers, think of people doing the waste management, driving the trucks. And while it was maybe before unthinkable that women, wrongly judged as the weaker gender, would work in these professions, but to drive this truck does not require strength, physical strength. It requires knowledge. It requires to understand the mechanics and the technology with which these things work. So it becomes a profession which can easily be done by women, and actually today is already sometimes done by women. Then, of course, the phenomena of an aging population and an aging labor force has some implications. In many countries, we have increased the retirement age. So our workforce will age also because of that. There are less young people coming into the labor market, also because of that. We are changing the age structure of the labor force. At the same time, we are staying in working life longer than before. A phenomenon we saw already in many professions in the past and which will stay like that, which will actually accelerate, is that in many professions it will not last you through the whole working life. There is not only a need for upskilling and learning and acquiring new technologies, developing in the sector. For many, some occupations will disappear and you will be forced to choose another profession. which requires education and training for adults beyond the training which is acquired through working or through the company in which you're working. So you need training coming from the outside, teaching you skills which have nothing to do with your present job. Secondly, there is the well-known phenomenon that women, when they have children, at least for some times, especially in those areas where not enough childcare facilities are available, drop out of the labor market for a while. They interrupt their careers. So we need to find a way to change an increasing number of transitions between training, life, and work during a life. This also requires a systems response, and it requires a changed form of the provision of education and training. We must find a way, and we haven't found it in the last 8 years, despite the European target in this area, how to provide systematically and regularly education and training to the adults. So how can agencies work together? And let me here first congratulate EIGE for setting up. It's not a small feat to set up an European agency. It's a difficult thing. Life in an agency is not necessarily an easy thing. Speaking of experience. It's nice to be in Vilnius. Vilnius is a wonderful city, but you are far away from the policy center in Brussels. It's bothersome to travel to EIGE. It's bothersome for the people from EIGE to travel, and it's expensive. And I promise you, you will be asked by the council which has set you up if this is economic. Of course, it's not economic, but there's a rationale behind it, and there's a rationale which is actually one of the hidden agendas of the agencies. It's providing a face of the European Union in a decentralized way. And this is not always easy to do. But we have to try, and it puts, again, a particular responsibility on the agency. There is a cooperation of the agencies in general. We have a meeting, we have two to three meetings every year of the heads of agencies, and we support each other in administrative terms. This goes for all agencies, regardless if our subjects are complementary or not. Then, as Morten has said before, and I liked it a lot, it's not only about avoiding overlaps. Actually, it's more about complementarity and achieving synergies. We haven't not signed our agreement today because we do not want to cooperate. We haven't signed it because we didn't have the time to find the right formulations. And I appreciate very much the seriousness of Virginia, and I would support it from my side as much, to be serious about this memorandum of understanding, this cooperation agreement, because we need to fill it with life, and in order to fill it with life, we must be sure that what we promise us to do there, we actually will do. I'm looking very much forward to this cooperation, and I do believe that in the one side or the other, CEDEFOP work may help EIGE to fulfill its mission, and I'm sure EIGE's work will help to fulfill CEDEFOP its mission better than it does by now. And then, and this is a little bit more anecdotal, we have experts who do some moonlighting, they work on the side, and sometimes they work on gender issues. And I can tell you that this is a serious work of one of our economists, the guy Giovanni Russo. And he has worked on the wage gap. And the result of his research has been that the wage gap to 25% is explained by gender issues only. If you look at full-time employment only, so if you leave all the part-time aside, it accounts for 74% of this gap. I think it's an interesting piece of research, not coming out of CEDEFOP, but of the nightly activities of one of our experts, and I'm happy to give you this result, and it might be useful, and I'm sure Giovanni is very willing to explain further what he did here, and it might be helpful. Thank you very much, and good luck.